Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome back to Global Media Network LLC. Passion World Talk Radio is a wholly owned subsidiary of GMN LLC. Our motto is and always will be educate, enlighten, entertain. And our special guest this week, Viki Esther Chang, will be talking about of her series, The Gold Nugget, the first one to be released in July, casting, and she'll also discourse on various other topics that are of great interest to our world's economy. Good morning, Viki.
Hi, Lillian. Just want to know if you and the live audience are watching me and hearing me right now. Are you there, Lillian?
Yes, I
Is
am.
it okay? It's all good. Great. Thank you so much, Lillian, for your invitation. So, just to let everyone who's just scrolling the Facebook, I am actually already on here, Lillian and myself on the Platinum platform, and also on YouTube. Talk about life. So, Lillian, today is such a special day because we are doing this global simulcast. You are on Facebook Live, on your channel, on YouTube, and your Facebook, and the LinkedIn. And also, I am on my Facebook live stream and my YouTube live stream. So I am learning something right here. So the world is evolving. I am learning. So thank you so much, Lillian, for this opportunity to be with you on your channel, for my platforms to be with you from Singapore to the USA shortwave low frequency radio. Thank you so much, Lillian. It is 10:12 p.m. Singapore on a Friday evening. How are you, Lillian?
I'm doing very well, thank you. It's
Okay, we
going to
are
be quite
having,
hot today. It's going to go up to 95.
yeah, we have a little bit of delay on my side. I think I am getting some
Okay.
delay on the Facebook feed and also the YouTube feed, but we will let the technology go as much as we can. It's a little bit of delay. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much again, Lillian. We have got this shout out today for the next 5 minutes or so. Um, Lillian, we have talked about the global live church, the global virtual church that you are the official streaming partner in the USA, and now we are going global because you are the streaming partner and I am in Singapore, so we are going global. And I just want to say, Lillian, you are invited, and so is the rest of the world. We already have people signing up from Australia to the global virtual church that is going to happen tomorrow at 8 a.m. New York time and 8 p.m. Singapore time on a Saturday, the 3rd of June. We've got Australians coming in from Australia and from Singapore and around the region in Asia. And soon after, we will adjust the time or to go to simulcast in Europe, particularly in the UK and in France. Lillian, this is the shout out this week with you for the Global Virtual Church that is headed by Reverend Stephen Manning, who is doing this solely for the love of God and for the love of humanity, because we are going through very uncertain times, very testing times for a lot of people. And again, Lillian, just to reiterate something that we have started talking this week on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We talked about jobs. We talked about the uncertainties of the economy. We talked about mothers and fathers, struggling. We talked about the man in the street. We talked about inflation. We also talked a little bit about myself. Me going through a very dark time, or is it a desperate time um, when my mother was going through the last 2 weeks of her life that I didn't know. And you can find that in my book, Candle in the Wind. And of course, when I write my book and like you write your book, we hope to reach out to as many people as possible. So Candle in the Wind talks about my mother, myself, and God. And the reason I talked about my mother and myself, which relates to everyone who's going through tough times, particularly in times like this, I really wanted to take this as an example, as a story, to talk about the global virtual church because it is independent. The spirit of the global virtual church, it is to hopefully help people. It's supposed to be independent, non-denominational, with no political affiliation, no religious, cultural, or geographical or national affiliation. It is just based on the living word of God. And I want to reiterate that, Lillian, because when um, when we when we are at the wire, when God is at the wire, right? We at the last line between life and death. You are just facing that last breath. And I sometimes reflect back on the final breath that my mother takes, and that journey that I go through. It is really about calling out for help, and it's about me and God at the end. When there is no human help that can give. Um, and then everything that surrounds the church, that is what we do not want, anything that is related to the church that we do not want. We do not want the physical, um, undesirable parts of the church. Like, I don't like the people there. I don't like the building. I don't like the chair. I don't like the table. I don't like the food there. I don't like the social talk there. It's nothing. I don't even like the political alignments, affiliations of the church. It is just at the end where our life is at the wire. It's just between me and God. And that is the message I want to tell people. When you lose faith, um, because it is people, because it's the physical of part of the church, because it is the affiliations, no. I just want to go back to the basics. It is just between you and your faith at the end. Think about that. A lot of us becomes disillusioned, right? We become disillusioned because people have made use of faith, they've made use of religion, they've made use of the physicality of a church. I mean, using the word church very, very loosely, right? A belief. And I'm going to say we should strip all of that out. That's why the virtual church is best, because we are bringing it to you. It's between you and your faith and you and God. Nothing else stands in between, Lillian. It's not even about the money of the church. It's not about anything. It's about you and your faith. It's between you and your God. It's not about you driving to the church. For me, I don't like waking up so early in the morning. I don't like that journey. I can tell you I'm a lazy churchgoer. Okay, I have to tell you that. And I don't like certain places I go. Like, for example, I don't like this church because I don't like the person there. I mean, I'm just telling you the truth, Lillian. I don't like that the church because I don't like the chair. It's so hot. I don't like the music because they play the drums. I don't like it there. I mean, I don't like the physicality. That's the truth. And I'm telling you the truth. But the global virtual church is just coming onto the church and just about the word. And Reverend Stephen Manning is going to just he's going to go through the exposition of the Corinthians, the book of Corinthians. So he's going to go through the word, and I like that. Nothing between you and I, and nothing between like selling a message for our own benefit. None of that. So I like that because I'm a lazy bum. I want to bring it to me. I don't want to be driving, and I don't want to be like, interacting with people. I don't like the person. I don't like this person. I don't like the other person. I don't want to be dressed for the church. I don't want people to be looking at me. So I want to cut that out. And the thing is that people have been disillusioned, Lillian. People have been disillusioned because
Yes.
it has been played into the hands of people. So I just want to say that why am I the managing director of the church? Um, it's just because I'm managing it globally, and now with you getting the people in, making sure that it goes out to the people who needs it, so that it goes live on Facebook, it goes live on YouTube, or with your platform, it goes live on radio, it goes live to LinkedIn. That's why I'm managing it. And to tell the truth, I'm lazy. I don't want to drive in the morning to the church. I don't want to be dressed. I want it to come to me. I want to use the technology so that it beams onto my handphone like me as a lazy bum, so that I hear the word. So it is just as basic as that. That's the mission. And I just want to break it down to the most basic. We just want the word to come to our ears. And however God speaks to you, with nothing and no one in between. So it is just as basic as that. So just to tell you, Lillian, however you like it, it is just to strip off the color, the flavor. It's just to strip off everything that people do not like about the physicality of the church, or that it has been used in many different ways. It has been used for political agenda, for social agenda, for raising money to make people rich. I'm just going to say, sorry, it's not going to happen to that way, because I'm just gonna say it's happening this way because I'm just a lazy bum. I want it to come to me. I want it to, when I switch on the phone, it's there for me. It's as simple as that. Nothing goes in between, because it is like me. I don't want to go anything between me and my word with God, and how God is going to communicate with me. No one. Okay, there's not going to be anything. So it's going to be Pastor Stephen Manning preaching the word of God to someone like me who's really lazy, because it takes a lot to pray. It takes a lot to read the Bible, just to let you know. The book is there, but it's a hell lot of burden. It takes the whole world of a weight just asking someone to be persistent in a prayer. And it's whole lot of weight just picking up that Bible, which is just, it's really a small book, and they're just flipping the page. Do you know how difficult it is for a lot of people? Because that takes faith, and that takes courage. And we want to make that easy for people. And for me, it takes the life of my mother to do that, Lillian. For me to wake up, it takes the life of during these 2 years of lockdown in pandemic, because I was praying for Singapore. I was praying for my family because I was in lockdown, and I was physically away from them, just like you were physically away from them. What can we do, Lillian? I prayed for my uncle, who is the brother of my mother, and he actually passed during the height of the pandemic, and I wasn't able to uh, 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 see him, to kind of say goodbye to him at the hospital, because we were in lockdown. And that made prayer much more desperate. That made crying out to God, that makes it so much more critical, because I was praying for my people, and I was praying for my community. I was praying for my family, my brother, my sister that I couldn't meet, my nephew, my niece. I was praying for my husband. I was praying for myself, right? I don't forget about that. I was praying for everyone. I was praying for the pandemic to stop. So, and I want to tell you that took um, kind of a revelation. And I don't want that to happen again. The kind of desperation for people to go through like me and take the life of my mom to wake me up. I don't want that kind
Yes.
of pain for anyone to go through. So again, the global virtual church, hopefully it can reach out to someone. It didn't come to me. In fact, it was Reverend Pastor Stephen Mannion who wrote to me to say, hey, why don't we do this together? And I am happy to manage this. from Singapore, so that is from US and Singapore and to the rest of the world. And I've already people from Australia with the same time zone as Singapore at that hemisphere ready to listen to the word of God. And the thing is that, Lillian, this shout out is important because I'm just going to cut to the chase. Nothing between the physicality of the church. It is just virtual. It comes to you from your handphone. It's for people like me, like a bum. It's for people who doesn't. It takes the world for someone to pray. It takes the world for someone to get this uplift of the word. Hopefully, this reaches out to you, Lillian, and your listeners and your followers. This is from my heart to you and my heart to the people, because there are people who need a hope and they need help. And I'm saying that sometimes we don't know what you're going through, Lillian. People did not know how I went through that very, very desperate times. And it is just between me and God, and me and my mother. And you don't know how I went through after she passed. It is so difficult, Lillian. I'm not even going to go through and then going to like the rain that comes on. Go to my book, Candle in the Wind. I hope that helps someone, because the Candle in the Wind is written over a 5-year period. It's just about the dreams between my mother, that we kind of spoke through the dreams, unspoken words, that even after she passed, I how I cried in my dreams, because physically it was impossible to cry. I'm not even going to tell you, Lynn, how tough when you are stripped away from the pain, you are stripped away from tears because the pain was so unbearable. You only cried in your dreams. I'm not even going to say that, but only God knows what goes through in your mind. So I'm just going to strip it bare. I'm just going to strip it bare. The Global Virtual Church, ladies and gentlemen, people who are listening in this live stream, it is for people who just wants you and God and nothing, nobody in between. Nothing. It's just the digital world. So that's going to help people who are disillusioned come back. That's going to help people who did not believe come back. It's going to help people who were backslided come back. I'm just going to say, give yourself another chance. And when you give yourself another chance and you are worth it, it means that you're giving God another chance. So give yourself another chance, come back, and then rebuild that faith again. And hopefully you'll find that the last phase of your life, Lillian, like, you and the people who are listening, people, you do not know which season you are at. I mean, there are people who are in the 80s, 70s, 90s. They know that they're in that particular season. You want to make sure that you feel that, hey, life is worth it. Life is worth it. I think that's very important. I know I'm going to be a little bit long-winded today, Lillian. I'm just going to go past 15 minutes, but this is something that I want to tell everyone. There's something that is in my book, but I just want to say, not because I want to sell my book, because you can really hear what I say when I cry in my book, because when you are at your last breath, and I witnessed that when I saw my dad at the age of 7, he suffered from liver cancer. And I was 7 years old in the hospital. And I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know that was death, Lillian, when I was looking at him. I didn't know because I was 7 years old. And I was looking at the oxygen tank. At that time, when I was really young, you just have the oxygen tank. You didn't have all these machines because you were just so small. You were just standing there. And I saw the oxygen tank. The meter was quivering. It was quivering because it was taking its final breath. Now, Lillian, I'm just going to tell everyone that is at the wire. You are at the wire. You do not know when that is going to happen. And my dad was in his 40s. Ladies and gentlemen, you think you have a life ahead of you. You think you're going to make the next million. You think you're going to plan. You think you're going to make the last journey. You're going to plan this, you're going to plan that, but it's already in the Bible. You don't plan. You can't plan because you do not know tomorrow, right? We don't know. But when I was at the age of 7, Lillian, you know what? I was standing at that oxygen tank, and that was in my eulogy for my mother. And I was looking at that oxygen tank, Lillian. It was quivering, and I didn't know what was happening. And I was 7 years old, and I only knew that when I was older, because my father was struggling with his final breath. And I just want to say, ladies and gentlemen, anyone who's listening in, you could be 20, you could be 30, you could be 40, you could be 50, you could be 60, you could be 70, you could be 80, you could be 100. I don't care. I don't care how old you are, because we can never plan. Look at the people in the pandemic. Over 5 million people died. Did they plan for that? No. My uncle, did he plan to go during the pandemic in the heights of that time over a heart failure? No, we never planned. But I'm going to tell you, because we do not plan, we want to make sure we take our last breath with grace. We want to make sure that our next leap, our next walk is a good walk, because we're ready for it. We know that our final breath, we do not struggle. We're going to say, hey, we are going to heaven. It's going to be an even better journey for us. So I want to tell everyone, because I saw that when I was 7 years old, and I saw that with my mother. So I'm just going to say, ladies and gentlemen, do not waste that last breath, and make sure it's going to be a good walk, and we're going to go to heaven. So that's the Global Virtual Church. That's as much as I want to tell everyone in the glorious way, that we do not know, but we want to make sure that walk is a glorious walk. When we go to the final season of our life, we say, hey, it was a good walk. It was worth it, because it was meant. Every story was meant to be, and every journey was meant to be. The thing is that we should not live our life, ladies and gentlemen, feeling sorry, feeling bitter. Now, that's not something that we should, but I think God can take it away. So I don't know what word the God is going to speak to you, in what form, in what manner. But because in my very short journey, I've witnessed it in my life. You know, I've sent my grand uncle away. I've seen him in the mortuary. I've seen my grandmother in the mortuary. I said her goodbye, and I've seen them tied, up in the hospital mortuary when we had to kind of identify. So I'm just going to say, ladies and gentlemen, do not wait for that day. You've got to say the final hello or final goodbye to your loved ones. You got to say it now. So I think it is an awakening, Lillian. It is awakening to a lot of people. I don't care if you're 18, 19 years old, or you're 20, you're 30, you're 40, you're 50. I really don't care. I just want to say that we must not lead our lives in regret. And that's the Global Virtual Church. And hopefully it doesn't work within one word. It could be a process of discovering yourself and your faithful journey again. It is about rediscovering your walk. And hopefully the virtual church, hopefully with the word of God, sometimes with a human spirit it's really tough. But hopefully God is here to send Jesus Christ, who has died for us, to lift us up through the book, through the word, that you discover something, and then you tell yourself through this journey, through the Global Virtual Church, not one session, maybe the second session you've got to come back, the third session you've got to come back. Through that journey you kind of rediscover the faith and the hope, and then you tell yourself, hey, it's not that bad. I think I can have faith in human nature. I think I can have faith in God again. I think I can have hope in myself again. It doesn't have to be that bad. I think I can leave the final season of my life. The thing is that we don't know which season we are. You could be 20 years old, but there could be a final season. This is what I'm trying to say. So this is a shout out to everyone, the Global Virtual Church. Just to give yourself another chance. Just to give God another chance. Because when you give yourself another chance, when you give your God another chance, That's the value that you never know. That's when you tell yourself, hey, it is a life well lived. It is a journey well walked. It is that journey, that struggle that's worth it. All the heartaches that we have got, all the struggles we've got, all the quarrels we've got, they are worth it because they were part and parcel of that life that we're supposed to lead. And it is that revelation in your final breath that you think, yes, life was worth it. So you choose that final breath. Will you struggle or will you smile and say, I'm ready? So that's what God has taught me. And that's the eulogy that I gave in my mom's, her funeral. It was a question I gave everyone. Because when I was 7 years old, I looked at that oxygen tank and I didn't know what was going on. It was much later and I realized that, hey, he was struggling with his final breath. And now when my mother passed off, I realized she was right in front of me. She drew her final breath. And there's so much revelation that final breath, ladies and gentlemen, are you going to say, hey, it was a life well lived because I've walked through that journey and then I'm happy that I can go on a better journey because that journey is paved with gold. It's a heaven where everyone was worshiping. So the Global Virtual Church, it's from my heart to you. So Lillian, take it away.
We want to thank everybody for joining us this morning on Passionate World Talk Radio, and our special guest shout out person for the week, Viki Esther Chang, who has written about the virtual church tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Please come and attend. You don't have to worry, as Viki reminded you, about what you're wearing or not. You don't have to worry about keeping track of your kids or not, because they're already with you. And I think the most important thing, yes, and I think the most important thing that you have going for you with the virtual church is that you have the privacy to commune with your faith and with God without somebody telling you their way is better or to show you how superior they are because they drove up in their Lexus or
exactly.
some kind of sports car.
Because someone drives the Mercedes or the Bentley, it doesn't mean that they are better. So I just want
to comes up with one of those extended limousines that can wrap around the world at least once. I have to tell you that there's a very old saying from the Bible. I don't know whether it's the New or Old Testament, but it's pretty obvious that rich people have trouble going through the head of the pen to enter heaven. And maybe it's because of all that stuff they have with them. I'm not sure. I'm not passing judgment. I'm just saying that this is an opportunity for you to commune with your spirit and whoever you believe to be upstairs so that you can find out where you stand in mortality. I have lost friends to the pandemic who were not prepared, and they were young. My grandson lost a friend, and he was only 9 and 8. So it's something very difficult, but at the same time, it's something that it's not impossible. So I want to remind you to please listen to this particular shout out all over again. And you can see it on YouTube /forward slash PWR Network _PW Talk Radio. You can listen to on Facebook.com / Cool Your Heels or Facebook.com / Passionate World Radio. You can also listen to it on LinkedIn.com / Lillian Cauldwell. But more important, you can also see it on Viki Chang's Facebook page, which she'll give you in a minute. and also her YouTube page, which she will provide. Just remember 8 o'clock a.m. Eastern, New York time, 5 o'clock in the morning Pacific, 6 o'clock Central, and 7 o'clock, depending where you are, and then 8 o'clock p.m. in Singapore. And of course, if
Yes,
you're in
and Lillian,
Australia, you're already into Sunday morning.
yes, and
So please tell
just
them where they can
another,
find it on your Facebook and YouTube page.
yeah, please go to the Platinum platform or Viki Esther Chang here. Okay, Viki Esther Chang. Okay, sorry. Okay, I need to be very or just to go to the Global Virtual Church. Okay, it will be live streamed tomorrow, and then after we will build more streaming platforms, and you will go to um, Lillian's platform, Passionate World Talk Radio. And I just want to thank Lillian once again for her very gracious offer to be our partner, because there are people out there, Lillian. This is nothing got to do with us trying to reach out our influence, our power, it's or trying to get money, it's not. No, it's just a message to tell people, right? You have to me, it's very simple because I witnessed that when you want to go to a better place at your final breath, are you ready? Are you ready to go to heaven? Are you ready to go to a place paved with gold that does not have the pain, the troubles, the struggles, the anger, the bitterness of the world, because it's going to be lifted you up? So I think I'm not going to be the one to help you. I can't. No, Lillian, you can't be the one to be helping people. I have to be honest, right? It's not your pastor, okay? It's not your friend who's going to help you. It's just going to be you and your faith. We can't just try to kind of point to place to tell you that, hey, maybe this helps you. It's just going to be a whisper to you, maybe this helps you. Because I can't help you. Lillian can't help you. The one who's driving the Mercedes can't help you. The one who's driving the Bentley can't help you. The one who has a private jet can't help you. I'm just going to tell you the truth. They can't. There's no one in flesh and blood is able to help you. Nothing and no one. Not the physicality of a church. But it's just between you and your faith and you and your God, and then you and your belief. And how the way it is going to speak to you. So I'm not going to even sell anything. It's not going to be a sales talk, Lillian. I'm just going to tell you because it helped me. It has such a huge revelation, that I want to do what I want to do to reach out to some people, to help some people. This is something that I have wanted to do when I was in France. I wanted to have a house church. But now with global and with digital world, we can do that. Before it was so hard because we needed people to come here, and we need to, we don't want to have the judgment between people. When you go to a physical place, Lillian, I don't want to be judged because I wear, like, okay, I'm going to wear Gucci today, okay? Or I'm not going to wear Gucci today, or I'm going to wear Chanel or something because someone's going to look at me better. No, it's not. It's going to take that all away. So the global virtual church is just between you, and there's nothing physical in between. That's the beauty of it. And because it can reach out digitally, I have more faith that this will go out with that kind of fidelity of the word, that kind of integrity of the word. It's going to take away all that's fake, Lillian. I hope that does, Lillian. And that's why I want everyone to put this on your handphone. Okay, again. Now, if that springs out more and more people doing this faithfully with God, I think our objective has already achieved. We have already achieved our objective. And it brings you a better faith between you and your God. You don't even have to tell us. We don't care. It's between you and your God. We don't care because there's nothing in this, right? So again, ladies and gentlemen, if it helps you in your journey and it helps you to awaken you to your last, if you could visualize now, if you are drawing your final breath, Do you want to be happy? Do you want to say, hey, it is a journey well lived? I think that's my message. And I think that wakes everyone up, because you're going to just cut to the chase. I don't care how much money you make. I don't care what car you drive. I don't care what's the digit in your bank account. I don't care how beautiful you are. I don't care how fat or how skinny you are. I don't care if you're the supermodel, right? One day we're gonna draw a final breath. I don't care if you're Hitler. You're gonna draw your final breath. I don't care if you are one of the presidents. I don't care if one of the prime ministers. You're gonna draw it. I mean, look at the Queen. She drew her last breath, right? I don't care how rich she is. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I don't care what kind of power you have. One day, you're gonna draw your final breath, and you're gonna face that judgment between you and the God. And have we done our job? And are we happy? I think we have ourselves to answer. So today, a little bit long. We're busted 15 minutes. I hope Lillian doesn't, I hope Lillian doesn't mind about me busting 15 minutes, but I think this is so important. But again, the shout outs doesn't stop here. We will continue the shout outs as much as we should, to spread the word, to kind of help people feel that, hey, in their final season of life, they feel that, hey, it was a journey. That bitterness should go. That regret should go. It was part of the journey. It was part of the revelation. So we should get the revelation at the end. So Lillian, thank you so much. It's not something that I just want to say I'm a saint. I still have my regrets. I'm still struggling. That's why I need to go to the Global Virtual Church. It's made for people like me, because I'm a bum. Thank you, Lillian.
Thank you all very much. And please join us tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Everyone, have a great day.